You're now tuned into Radical Radio with Coach L.
Switch my attitude. I'm so radical. Switch my attitude. I'm so radical. Switch my attitude. I'm so radical. Switch my attitude. I'm so radical.
Good evening, everybody. This is your girl, Coach L. You are officially tuned in to Radical Radio. It's Monday night. You already know what time it is. It is time to get radical. It is time to get lit. It is time to get outside of the box. It is time to be you, be free, and be radical. This is my first show alone, y'all. Woo! This is different. My co-host has gone on to another journey. So it's just me, y'all, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to bring some awesome queens on to talk about some amazing things. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to share a few things with you guys. With this being the first show where I'm coming in, on my own. I've been doing a little reflecting. As you guys may know, a lot of times I do talk about something at the beginning of the show before we bring on our guests, right? So as I was, meditating and praying and asking God to give me words, all I could hear, y'all about to die, but all I could hear was, allow me to reintroduce myself. So I was like, okay, Laura, wait, what are you talking about? Like, what do you want me to, do a Beyonce dance or be home? Like, what's going on? But no, basically what it was, I wanted to reintroduce myself because, a lot of people don't really understand the whole movement of what radical is. And I wanted to share that with you all. So radical is a brand. Radical Life, LYFE, is a brand. It stands for living in your God-given favor every single day. Now, what does radical mean to me? Radical is, I'm gonna give you the definition first. Radical means affecting the fundamental especially of change or action relating to or affecting the fundamental nature of something, right? So changing the nature of something is being radical. What I have changed the nature of. I am a church girl. I was raised in the church. My grandfather was a pastor. Everything that I did, growing up, I did the Easter Sunday, speeches. I did the choir. I did everything in church, right? But as I began to grow, as I went through life and as I experienced different life circumstances, I was in an abusive relationship. I had children very young. I went through a lot from the age of, I would say, 13 on. I was just going through the storms of life. So with that being said, I kind of lost myself and I wasn't really being the person that God had called me to be. So fast forward, I was able to, really dig down, and I really wanted to make sure that I got myself together. And in getting myself together, I had to get closer to God. Getting closer to God, I was able to build my own personal relationship with God. It wasn't the relationship that I was taught. It wasn't the fundamentals that I was taught in the church. So it was very different for me when I began to build a relationship with God on my own and learn for myself a lot of things, right? So when I say radical, it's a movement. God has allowed me to be who he has called me to be. And it's not this, young lady that's like stuck in religion and things like that. It's a spirituality being, it's a being of spirit. It's understanding that God loves me unconditionally, no matter what I have been through, no matter what I have gone through. He knows my heart. He has allowed me to be who I am. So I'm this, loud chick that loves a lot of color. I love God. I love trap music. I love rap music. I just love life, and I love pouring into people, and I love seeing the best version of people. So, with that being said, God allowed me to be a life coach. So I am a coach that really helps people to become unapologetically bold and purposely authentic. Why? Because it is extremely important for you to walk in your purpose. It is extremely important for you to be authentic and be yourself. A lot of times growing up, I was in such a box. I wasn't able to truly be who I am. I am a creative being. So, when you're creative, and you want to wild out and you want to dance and you want to do all these different creative things and you want to draw, that's not something that people, wanted you to do for a career, so to speak, right? They wanted you to be a doctor. They wanted you to be a lawyer. These are all they wanted you to, be these things. That was how you were termed successful back when I was growing up. Me, on the other hand, here I wanted to be a choreographer. I wanted to do hair, all these creative things that I wanted to do. So it's okay to be you. It's okay to be you. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to love God. You don't have to be stuffy. You understand? So I grew up around religion. So that's what radical life is to me, just really embracing the person that God has intended you to be, embracing the purpose that God has set for your life. My favorite scripture is Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, "For I have a plan for you." I had a plan and a hope for you for your future. So I had a plan to prosper you and give you an abundant life, not, just a plan that was just not going to do anything, where you weren't going to be anything and you weren't going to be anybody. He had a plan that he had a great hope for us, and he had a great desire for us to be who he has called us to be. So that is my favorite scripture, and I live by that because it's okay. God knows your heart. He knows who you are. He knows you inside and out. I say this a lot. A lot of times we can fool ourselves, we can fool our family, but there's one person that you can never fool, because he is all being, all knowing, and all seeing, and that is God. So for everything that you desire, he knows your heart. He knows your desire. So I just want to encourage everyone to, be authentic and be you and find your purpose. Because one thing that I did experience is, once I identified the reason that God placed me on this earth, it was like the windows of heaven just opened up. Once you identify your purpose and the reason why God has placed you on this earth to work for the kingdom, life gets better. It don't mean no weapons, ain't gonna come your way. The word says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It doesn't say that you're not going to have the weapons come at you, but it does say that they are not going to prosper. So I stand on that word. No matter what I go through in life, no matter what challenges I may see or may face, I know that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So that's all about radical life. That's all about me in a nutshell. My story goes so deep, but that's not why we're here. We're here to bring these awesome queens on here that are going to talk about entrepreneurship, business. They're going to share a little bit about themselves with you. So that's what we're going to do today. So I thank you guys for joining me. I cannot see, and I don't know why, but I can't see who's in the comments. Oh, maybe because I didn't click on comments. There you go. So, so we have Rita Norman. Thank you for joining me, cousin. I love you. Proud of you, coach. I appreciate you. All those unicorns that are flying. Thank you. Miss Bonita Harris, thank you for joining us, queen. We appreciate you. God bless you. Rita said, live funky, wild, abs free in the Lord. You know what? I don't even know. I came with you. Shaquille Johnson said, amen. Thank you, queen, for joining us. We appreciate you. Oh, she said, live funky, wild, and free in the Lord. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. You already know. But yeah, we have two beautiful guests that are going to come on. Miss Susan Alston Johnson.
Hey.
And we also have Miss Theresa Simon that is coming on.
Hi.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Great.
How you doing?
Good.
You got us all revved up, I have to be honest, because you were preaching.
All right.
We pass the offering plate right now.
All right. That's what we do on Radical Radio. We'll definitely pass the plate. Thank you guys for joining me. I am so excited about having you guys here. Let me tell y'all how this came about. Miss Theresa was on our show. She was a guest on our show. First and foremost, Theresa, tell them what the name of your book is.
Yes, the name of my book is My Secret Life, My Journey Through Domestic Violence.
Yes. So for all of you that don't know, I am a domestic violence advocate. I am a survivor, a survivor. So go get Theresa's book. She has it out right now. It's available for you. So you guys can go cop that book. Theresa called and she said, I have someone that I want to bring on the show. She has an awesome idea for starting up businesses and helping people who have ideas with businesses. And Miss Susan is also on the board of directors. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so she's also on the board of directors for NDB. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and I'm going to read a little bit of their bios. Pull them back up and tell you a little bit about who we got here. Okay, so Ms. Susan Alston Johnson, she's an entrepreneur, professional consultant, civic and faith leader. Ms. Susan Alston Johnson has served her community through various entrepreneur ventures, career opportunities, board opportunities, and volunteer service for over 35 years. She has been invited to be featured with our distinguished executives in Who's Who among America's female executives, Who's Who in Black Atlanta, and was a leadership class of 2015. Now, we do have a longer bio, but we're going to let Ms. Susan go ahead and tell us a lot about her when we talk, y'all. So just hold on. Okay. And then we have Miss Theresa Simon, who is here. Hold on. I'm sorry, I lost it. Theresa Simon is a domestic violence survivor of 2 abusive relationships, spent time focusing on healing, rebuilding her life after abuse, raising her children and her career. During the phase of rebuilding her life after abuse, Theresa began a support group for domestic violence survivors and later founded and formed the support group into the nonprofit organization NDB, Narcissistic Domestic Violence Healing and Support, Inc., to assist victims of domestic violence and provide education on domestic violence and narcissist abuse. So these are the beautiful queens that we have before you guys today. So, ladies, again, thank you guys for joining. Want to start off by just kind of going into how you guys connected. How were you guys connected?
Well, what a lot of people don't know is that we're actually cousins.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, my mom and her grandma are sisters.
Okay, all right.
And so my older siblings grew up with her mom. Well, I did as well, and I know her mom, obviously, but they hung out together.
Okay.
And so she, Theresa, Rissy, her sister, Sharissa, my daughter are in the same general age range. And I grew up West Side. I know you're broadcasting from Waukegan, Illinois, but throughout the whole, anywhere in the world. But yeah, I grew up West Side of Waukegan, West Side.
West Side, you already know.
yeah, Waukegan East High School Bulldogs. And, just honestly, even from a kid, just loved people, loved to help. And then Theresa and I reconnected when I was doing free workshops on Saturdays. I called them Wake Up Workshops on Facebook. Okay. And we hadn't talked, Theresa, in years.
Yeah.
And she was taking notes, and I didn't know that. And then one day, she reached out to me and asked me for some suggestions on her nonprofit. She began to share with me her story. I had a family member who was victimized by domestic violence, and it's something that was always at the core of my being. I had helped people when I was teaching back in the day. I remember helping one of my aides escape from her husband. Literally, we moved her out of her house as quickly as we could, went to the police, did all these things. And it was always something that I always wanted to help. And so it worked out great that we were able to connect. And I don't know if Theresa, if you want to piggyback off of that.
Yeah, actually, I saw her workshops, and then that's when I was around the time I began forming the nonprofit. So her workshops that she was doing was helping me. And then I also joined her incubator. And so that helped me with the nonprofit.
In other words, she was stuck with me weekly.
That is awesome. So the incubator is something that you guys have coming up. It's called the Virtual Business Incubator. It says, do you have an idea you want to turn into a business? Do you have a passion for success? Are you ready to pursue your dream? They are doing registration right now. I think the dates, well, coming up dates will be January 16th and February 11th. Is that right?
Yes. And we're learning that we're going to need to have more classes, which is a good thing. And if I can share kind of how this was birthed.
Yes.
Everything you said is kind of like me from being a speckled bird. I was that person that I was a jock, played sports in high school in Waukegan, but I was also the person that would literally sit and read vocabulary books. And I was always researching and wanting to know more about everything. And once I started working with businesses and things like that, I said, okay, God, some kind of way, because like you said, we learned to get a job. We learned, and I have nothing against getting a job because I've had jobs. The only reason why I was off of mine right now is because I got hit by a truck 4 years ago and I physically couldn't, I was trying to walk, let alone be able to work a job.
Right.
But I always had my side hustle going, always. And usually it was putting together, writing proposals. And I mean, some of them ranged from 13,000 to 75 million. And I'm not sure why that God put me in this position. And I said, Lord, I need to be able to help our people like you who have ideas. And how do you form that so that you can monetize it, so you can make it scalable, so that you can have a living for your family?
Yes.
So I started, some of my business ideas, trying to do business with it. And because I couldn't afford a consultant. I couldn't afford a me.
Yes.
So I made a lot of mistakes, did some things right, made mistakes, did some things right. And finally, I started getting it a little bit better, a little bit more right. And
yeah.
And I said, God, I want to be able to help people. And especially we're talking about domestic violence survivors. Sometimes you stay in those situations because you get trapped financially. You and anybody who's dealt with anybody from a abuse perspective, financial abuse is obviously one way. And so we said, how can we bring, even before I reconnected with Theresa, rather, it was, how can I bottle this information and bring it to people who can't afford it, Lord? And then when COVID happened, I said, okay, I really have to do something, because at that time I was traveling, doing in-person workshops.
Right.
And we went to Florida, we had Birmingham, we had Montgomery, Huntsville. We were about to go to Phoenix and back to another place in Florida. And then boom, COVID.
Right.
So, okay, I can bring this to people like Theresa, or domestic violence survivors, college students, people that have an idea and just need help on how to get it out. And so, Theresa, I don't know if you want to share your incubator experience.
Yes. So when I took the incubator, that's when I was just starting off the nonprofit. So by going to the weekly incubator sessions or classes, I was able to understand what processes I needed to take in order to build the business. So whether it's, in my case, a nonprofit organization or a for-profit organization, like she said, for those of you that, have something on the side or a side hustle or something that you're trying to, build on or get out there, this will show you the techniques that you need to do in order to build your business. And it really does help you, especially if you don't know what things that you may need for the business. This will actually help you get the things that you need so that you can get your business on the track to, of course, making money.
Absolutely. Right.
And Ladina, one thing that I saw was that, especially dealing with what we've dealt with in 2020, racism, all these kinds of things, if we want to come from a place of power as people, we need to be able to own stuff.
There you go.
Exactly.
And so through this, we're going to empower people on how to turn that side hustle into a legitimate, money-making, growing, scalable business. And now we can own it.
Absolutely. And I love that you say that, because that's one of the biggest things for me, is that I feel like we are coming up as a people, but I also feel like that we have been conditioned where we don't understand to leave a legacy for our families. So I know me working in corporate America for like 17 years and just, kind of working. And I'm like, I'm working real hard, leaving my children at home and, not really having the things that I need at home taken care of so I can be at work. But I'm working to, leave a legacy for the corporate, Giants family, not for my family. Yep. So it's like, okay, how do I get to the place where I can, build my own business, but still work? So currently, that's what I do. I work, but I also work to fund my businesses. What do you say to people? Because there's so many people right now that are saying, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a millionaire. I want to own my own business. I hear that so often, but I also notice that a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs don't really understand what it takes to become an entrepreneur. It's a very lonely, road. It's a very long journey. There's, so much that comes with it. So what would you tell our guests about, or our listeners about that?
The first thing I would say is be willing to do the work. What I find, and that's one of the reasons why we do the incubator, because you get about $1,600 value of coaching for free. Literally, the only thing you pay is a $30 registration fee. But the first thing I tell people is be willing to do the work. Yes. If you have an idea, what I believe what you have to do is take that idea, build it out, which is called a business plan. Mm-hmm. You want to put together, have a team, get at least 2 other people that like you, because that's important. Yes. Aren't going to fight against you and who have opposing skills. Yes. Who can, so if you're a good communicator, you need somebody that's good at the computer. You need somebody that maybe is a tech person. So you want to have that team, first of all. And then let's sit down and talk about your idea. Is it a business or is it a service? I'm sorry, is it a product or is it a service? Yeah. You have to understand what it is that you want to do. And then secondly, you have to, well, not secondly, but next, you have to look at what legal form is best for me. I always tell people, if you want to do a sole proprietorship, then you just are saying, okay, let me stab myself in the heart. Because what can happen is that you are completely liable legally for every single solitary thing that happens. Absolutely. And I always encourage people, let's find out what legal structure is best for you so that you can protect yourself. And the ways you can do that is a corporation, usually an S corp for smaller businesses, and then or a limited liability company. Yes. Make that decision based upon the startup costs, because a limited liability company is typically less. Yes. And then if you have members or people that are going to be with you, so you have to look at all of that. And then once you determine, okay, what's my best route, and we help you with that. And then we look and see how can we define your target market. Who, if you want to be a success in business, meet a need. Yes. If you want to have a successful nonprofit, meet a need. Absolutely. You hear, Mark Zuckerberg, some of the billionaires in the world, the first thing they say, Warren Buffett, what need are you meeting? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we're trying to do is my goal, and what I feel like God put in my heart to do is to take at least 100 people before the end of this year and help get them into their own business. And that's what we want to do. And people say, oh, you're crazy. You're not charging your full price for this. And I believe it will come on the back end, because since then I've actually been getting more referrals. Mm-hmm. But my heart was to help people who have an idea but need guidance. They need a midwife to give birth to that baby.
Ooh, come on now with the come on now.
I mean, can you imagine if you had somebody when we're younger growing up west side of Waukegan, it wasn't a terrible place to live or anything like that. But who would have thought when I was my 3 months wet behind the ears out of college, I was managing a $15 million budget for a job. Wow. We never learned anything about that. Right. Absolutely. And some of my Caucasian friends, white friends, and good friends in high school, but they were caddying on the golf course in high school. So they were learning about business as a kid. Yep. And so we didn't know any of this, But yet every job I kept having, and I was always required to start something new, put together budgets, put together arrangements, contracts, literally every single job. And so I said, God, if you bless me, I will help your people with this information.
Hey, don't God say, hey, you take care of my people, I'll take care of you. You better know it. So that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, so we have a lot of people that, as we said, they want to be entrepreneurs, but the first thing that they think about is, oh, I can't be an entrepreneur because I don't have any money. Teach them, let them know what the incubator can do. You said it's a $30 sign-up fee, so you don't need any money.
Correct, $30.
$30.
And
so you don't need $1 million anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and if people on here would like to sponsor someone, all you have to do is go to projectjumpstart.net, and you can put in Theresa's code, which is NDV. And one of the reasons why I encourage you to do this, Theresa set up this whole interview, and I'm really happy for that. But you get a chance to sponsor someone who's going through who's a survivor of domestic violence, or you can sponsor someone else, but they get the credit for it. And what I'm doing is they get all the proceeds from this. I pay some people to process, some registrations, but the proceeds they get. Yeah. And so you get a chance to help somebody get the information to start their business or yourself, and you get a chance to build an organization that's actually making a difference. Yeah. NDV has Theresa's program. In fact, Theresa, you want to tell them quickly about some of the programs you have?
Yes. So NDV Healing and Support Incorporated, we have the moms. We have several programs, but our Moms Going Back to School program actually it correlates with the incubator, because our Moms Going Back to School program is designed to help women go back to school, but more importantly, after they have left the abusive relationship, they're in the process of rebuilding their life. So it encourages them to go back to school. And in that program, we wanted some of the women, to go. They're signing up for the incubator because they're also, it can help them build their business. Because like we were talking about with domestic violence, a lot of it is financial. And so they'll come out of the abusive relationship and they may not have any money or any way to support themselves. So this gives them a way to rebuild their life. So that's one of the programs that we have, is our Moms Going Back to School program.
I love that because, like you said, I feel like this. I feel like there needs to be a plethora of domestic violence organizations all around everywhere. I know we were on we were talking to Eric Reinhardt, who is the now state's attorney, about domestic violence. So it's necessary, and this would give the moms an opportunity, even if they wanted to start their own nonprofit, to be able to start their own nonprofit. So that's amazing. Theresa, what else is it? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was going to piggyback off of what you just said, if you don't mind.
Sure.
In fact, a person who's in a group for domestic violence survivors that Theresa's in, she called me a couple of days ago while I was in, I forget what store I was with my daughter. And she said, Theresa has told me about you. I'm a domestic violence survivor and I want to help these women. I'm a police officer during the day. She called me. And now she's a client and she's in the incubator. She said, wow, do this. And she felt like that and you got me wanting to say glory to God. But she said just after our first session that she felt so empowered that she can do this and help some other people out of their situation.
Yes, this is amazing.
Yeah, can you imagine if we can get not even just 100? What if we got 1,000 people that said by the end of this year, I am going to start my business?
Yes, it's necessary, because even with people that are, like domestic violence situations, people that have been incarcerated for, drugs and things like that, I feel like it's all a gateway, to an end. They are able to identify that they can own their own business and that they can work for themselves. They can then come into the confidence that they need, because the way that I see it, I say this all the time, like if you have like the cycles that you have grown up in, dysfunction and things like that, and you chose to go out and sell drugs. Let's say that, okay? My thing is this: you just didn't sell drugs. You had a sense to make this a business, so to speak. So why not turn that into a legitimate business and give an idea of something that can be legitimate? There are ways that our young people and our brothers and our sisters that are in this cycle, this systematic racism, that we are, engulfed in. There's a way for them to come out of it. The incubator is something that could help them to identify the gifts and talents that they have and not go the route that, they're forced to go, or that the system has designed for them to go. It's a way to break a cycle. So I love it. I love it.
I fully agree. There was a pastor who actually had I remember clearly, I was in church and he felt that God gave him an altar call for drug dealers. And he said, if you have that kind of sense to be able to do that, we're going to put you in a legitimate business. They worked with the local police. This was an Atlanta suburb. They worked with local police, and they held off some of those cases as long as these people went through their business program. And can you imagine if we take some of these kids that are, because we actually have a program called Next Gen for 5th grade through high school, where we take you through a program that's age appropriate for you. We currently have a couple of teenagers in our incubator right now. And
that's amazing.
Yeah. And so we're taking you through, one of them is wants to do makeup, and she's really, it's my art and my craft. And like how you're talking, that's why when you said that, I literally wanted to shout right then, because that's the people that we're usually taking. And we're wondering, why are they getting in trouble? Why are they having these issues? It's because God put a seed in them and they don't know what to do with it.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with the parents. They just don't know how to help cultivate it. And I believe that's in part why God sent me. So that if you have a seed, if you have an idea, I want to tell you, if you go to projectjumpstart.net, and if you don't have it, but you say, I know some people that need that. I had a lady who sponsored 2 people, 2 of her nieces. She said, I know they have a heart to do this, and we want to get them in. My brother and sister, a couple of sisters, and my daughter actually sponsored people from NDV to go through the workshop. So if there's anybody listening, go to projectjumpstart.net, whether it's for you, whether it's you want to sponsor someone going through who's a domestic violence survivor, or if you have a teenager, somebody in your family who you say, you know what, they need this. Pick up the phone right now, text them, tell them to tune in, and go to projectjumpstart.net. Because Ladina, we can really my goodness, we could change the trajectory of our communities like this.
Absolutely. It's necessary more than we think, more than we even know. I'm kind of wild by this, because this is like, I didn't even know you had Next Gen. What is the age category for Next Gen?
We have 5th grade through high school, and then we'll break it down according to, like, if we have, right now we have 2 high school students, but if we have more high school students, then I can do a class every night if I have people. I've made that commitment to do that. So we can start more classes, which is what we actually just did. We just started a class on Friday last week. And then we have a college class, which that one is called, I believe it's RGen, I think.
Okay.
And in that class, it's for college students. Because can you imagine, like my son, he's in college, he's 21. And next generation Alstons.
Gotcha.
His last name is Johnson, but he has a sound business mind. He's an athlete like all of us, but he has a sound business mind, smart as all get out. And he actually gave me one of his course books. He said, Mama, this is some stuff that you talk about with us. And so we want to help college students. So when you get out, you already have the tools. You should work that job for a little bit so you can understand and full practice how a business works. But then this way you're equipped so that you can run your own business successfully within 5 years, hopefully, of getting out of college, if not sooner.
Absolutely.
Because the time is now.
Yes.
We keep on going to quote unquote the man, wanting people to do stuff for us. You see how that there, yes, we have a transition from a government perspective, but I'm telling you, they're gonna keep on fighting. So
Absolutely.
here's our way.
And this is the time, because the more we wake up, the more they want to continue to push us down. If you guys can't see what's going on in the world right now, like the more we wake up and rise up, the more they want to try to push us down and stop us. And it's sort of like, you know, and I hate to go here, but I'm just gonna go here because God says it's like, you know, the enemy. Once he knows that God has planted that seed in you and that you have been called to do something that God has called you to do, the enemy comes right behind you, and his job is to try to steal, kill, and destroy what God has planted in you. So we cannot, in this very hour, it's important for us not to allow the enemy to steal what God has put in place for us. So these ladies have put in place something that God has birthed and given them a vision to do, to help people own their own business, give you the sound information that you need to own your own business. Whether you work or not, there is something that you need to do so that you can leave a legacy for your family. And that's something that we do not have time in this hour to let go. Like, that's like money on the table. We got to grab the money. We cannot let this lottery pass us by. This is like winning the lotto, you know. And
without works is dead. We pray
go.
and we're saying, okay, I'm praying and I'm crying. And where my passion was, it's like you hate seeing people all the time just praying and crying, but don't get up and do anything.
Yes.
When, 2 Kings 4, when that woman, she was praying and crying, but she did go to the man of God and she said, look, my husband served you. And they're coming to take everything I have.
Yep.
And he said, what's in your house?
What's in your house?
So she said, I just have this oil. Then he said, go borrow vessels. Those are things that are not neighbors. People aren't going to give you what they're using. And what God gave me, my command from God, was all these vessels that are sitting there, dusting off in the corner. You help them stir up the dream, the gift of God that's on the inside of them. And with everything that's in me, that's what I want to help people do. Don't let that dream die. And God gave me to write a book. The workbook is actually out, and I give it to the people that go through the class for free. It's called Unfinished Business. Those are things, I'm sorry for getting emotional, but
No, that's fine.
The things that God has given you, it can't die. And our goal is to help you. The graveyard is too rich with so many dreams and vision and passion. But if you take that one seed, and this is what we want to help you with. What's that one thing when you were a kid, you sat on the floor in a corner and you looked at the airplanes, or you looked at this and you wanted to do it? I feel like it's a mandate to help you get that bring it to full fruition.
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
Yeah. And for this low price, I mean, it's real, like you said, it's leaving money on the table. It's a steal for this low price, because you're literally walking through to getting from point A to Z to your business.
Absolutely.
So why would you want to leave, money on the table? And like she said, if not for you, then sponsor someone to go through it that really needs it, because there's people out there, not domestic violence survivors, but also other people outside of domestic violence survivors that could really benefit from this, because it's really beneficial for people to become entrepreneurs and build on their talents. And also for the children, the high school students and younger, it would really benefit them as well. So,
and I can tell you this, Ladina, Divine Business Connections. I believe she's a founder or co-founder of that, Monica Stalling. She actually heard about this and she took it and she ran with it. I'm working with her to help her Hearts of Hope nonprofit, and she's been trying to get 250 people signed up. That's her goal. Right. There's another bishop in Alabama, Birmingham, and MT Zion Cathedral Church, and they're trying to get as many people as they can. In fact, we're working to actually establish a physical incubator next year as COVID begins to release. But we've hoping to have enough people signed up where they can have their own virtual class.
That's
and then
right.
we have Theresa in Wisconsin and Illinois. And can you imagine, we have groups in Florida. Can you imagine if we have people saying, we are going to take control of our lives. We're going to let God stir up the gift of God that's on the inside of us. We're going to be guided, and we're going to actually accomplish what God intended our lives to be. What you said when you first started this show today, when you started talking about purpose, girl, you had me about shouting backstage. Oh my goodness, this is so in line with the whole reason that we established Project Jumpstart.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Thank you for joining us, Queen Monica. We appreciate you. Divine Business Connections Group. So she wants you guys to please join the Incubator. God has placed it on my heart. I'm going to sponsor 2 people. I have one person in mind. If there's anybody on here that wishes to be sponsored for this incubator, please contact me and I'll make sure that I get you taken care of. I do have a young member from Youth Build that I have in mind. She's been really going through her entrepreneurship and really trying to figure some things out. And I think this would be an awesome thing for her to do. So I'm going to sponsor her as well. But this is for everybody. We have to, what I see right now, just listening to you guys and hearing from you and hearing your heart, I see this as a global network. I see this going global. I see this being something that can be big to connect people together. It could be another joint adventure for other people to see, and then them come along and more people to come along. So this is awesome what you guys are doing. God will bless you abundantly for what you are doing and the heart that you have to help people the way that you are. I wanna talk a little bit more to you ladies on what type of people are you looking for. I know you will take anybody. It sounds like you'll take anybody. But what are the people? I want you to tell the audience, like, who are the perfect candidates for the Incubator? And Theresa, I want to start with you since you were a part of the Incubator before.
Yes. So a perfect candidate for the Incubator would obviously be, anyone. We obviously domestic violence victims. I have been, reaching out to them because, like I said, domestic violence affects you a lot financially. However, aside from domestic violence survivors, we're also, anyone else who has, you have that side hustle or those talents that we want you to turn that into a business, or that idea that you've been thinking about for a while, but you weren't really sure, we can help you get that and turn that into a business. So it's someone who has that mindset where they really want to turn what they have into a business, and they just need someone, that guidance and that information.
Okay. Susan, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, and I'm saying this because you started it on a scriptural basis. When you look at Mary, after the Holy Spirit impregnated her and she went to Elizabeth, her cousin, who was 6 months further, what happened? Babe leaped in her womb. If you're on here today and you're listening to this and you're thinking about, oh man, I always wanted to do this. Oh man, I always wanted to get this started. It's for you.
Yes.
If there's any dream that you have left on the table so far, and you don't have to be 25, 35, you can be 75. In fact, I have a client who's 75 years old. She always wanted to be an actor. And so I'm helping her get that together.
Isn't that awesome?
Too late.
And if you guys did not hear Miss Susan when she said the graveyard is rich, that's real talk right there, because you do not want your dreams to go with you. They are not designed to go with you. They are supposed to be fulfilled. They are supposed to be manifested. They are supposed to be done here on earth as God has sent you to do them. So you're supposed to die empty. When you die empty, that means that you left everything that God had called you to do and you did what he asked for you to do. So I want to encourage you guys, as she said, it's time for us to take a leap as a people, women, men, children, everybody. It is time for us to take a leap. If you have something that's brewing, if you have something that's stirring up that you've been thinking about, this is the perfect opportunity. You cannot beat $30. Miss Susan has been around. She has been around, honey, and she has been working diligently. Workshop, everything. She's been working. So for her to, do this in the way that she's doing it, this is a major give back. This is a major give back to the community, to the people. So I just want to encourage you guys to go ahead and go to projectjumpstart.net and please, please, please sign up. Miss Susan, I want you to tell us a little bit about anything else that you have going on. I know for me, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna keep it all the way transparent with y'all right now. I just reached out to a business strategist, and they told me it was gonna cost me $5,000. Okay, so y'all gotta understand.
You need to call me.
And I'm on it. Don't worry. I am definitely on it. What I'm telling you, though, the reason I said that is because it takes people who have a heart, and not to say that that person doesn't have a heart for what they're doing, but when you can connect, I'm talking about a divine connection, a predestined connection. This is what this is right now. So if you are on here, I need you to understand what a divine connection is. It's when God sends people your way for the very need that you need met. Okay.
I say that because there was one business that I was working for at the time. They were about to lose a $9 million government contract.
Mm-hmm.
They added me to the contract. The government wanted to meet me. I put together paperwork on how we can make the corrections. They kept that contract.
Wow.
God's blessed, and got additional ones beyond that. God's blessed me to take some organizations from nothing, literally, and to where they, was doing multi-million-dollar proposals for them. Mm-hmm. One church, my church that I was a member of 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. God blessed me to put together our founding proposal, whereby we got the state of Illinois to fund our family service center, put 4 people on salary, including the pastor, because he had his degree in social work, master's in social work. Mm-hmm. It helped so many people bring families together. It was about family preservation. Mm-hmm. They did that for $200,000 for the first time, then up to $400,000. Then they continued to increase that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, even after I moved, it ended at about $600,000, and that was like 14 total years. So that was the dollars for a church to be able to operate the program.
Absolutely.
So what I tell people is, in fact, if you're okay with it, if people wanted to type in their business questions, I'll be more than happy to answer questions.
Absolutely. If you guys have any questions for businesses, please drop them in the comments. Ms. Susan is ready to answer questions. Y'all don't listen. This is some real good stuff right here. Y'all better not pass this up.
Put all your questions, put your questions in there, because Susan is amazing. She really, really, really knows her stuff. And she has really helped with NDV Healing and Support Incorporated. So definitely. But I think it's just really good for people to really just take advantage of this, because like you said, we could really change our community. We have the ability to really make real change here. So I think it's just really important for people to take advantage of these incubator classes.
Absolutely. And how long is the incubator classes? So tell us the layout of the classes and how you guys will do them.
Sure. It's 12 total modules, and it depends on the group if that ends up being 8 sessions or 12 sessions. We try to pair you with people that are close to your same level. Like if you're an existing business, but it's been flagging a little bit, then we try to pair you with other existing businesses. If you're at the idea stage, we try to pair you with them. And right now, the current group, it looks like they're going to complete in about 8 total sessions, but it's 12 modules. And and that starts from everything from legal forming the kind of business that's best for you. And even if you're an existing business, what several of the for-profit businesses in my class now, they discovered that, okay, I'm a sole proprietor. That means somebody can sue me and take my house if I do, something the wrong way.
Right.
So we have a couple of people that are actually in the process of changing their businesses over to a company structure that fits their needs. And then we take you from that, show you how to market. We show you how to pitch it, how to write a business plan.
Yes.
How to, and what's important, the pitch deck is important for it if you want to be able to get an investment. So we show you how to do that. And the great news is I have 2 gentlemen who have agreed to listen to presentations because they would be interested in potentially funding one of our founders, one of the startup businesses.
That is amazing. Look, y'all, I'm finna sign up. So y'all better come on.
Kind of like Shark Tank.
Sign up.
But not as Sharky.
Listen, no, seriously, I'm serious, y'all. I'm finna sign up because you can never have enough education when you're in business. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
You never, like, I believe
lose you guys
education for everything. So you always have to keep your iron sharp. So look, y'all better come on through. Come on with it.
It's really something that is for everyone. So it's definitely
the joy of,
I love it. I love
technology.
And hey, COVID ain't gonna stop this incubator, so y'all better come on.
Exactly. We can have something for the kids. We have something for, domestic violence survivors, something for someone who has an idea.
I'm still on or not.
I'm sorry,
but if I am, I definitely want to say to people is that if you go to projectjumpstart.net, we definitely can help you out.
Oh, it's going out. But she was saying to go to projectjumpstart.net though. So please make sure you go to projectjumpstart.net. Like I said, you can either sign up or you can also sponsor someone.
Faith Without Works is.
It absolutely is. I'm so thankful to have you guys on here. I want you guys to stay on after we wrap up. Don't leave. Monica Stalling says, yes, Susan Johnson is amazing. Listen, she got receipts, y'all. So listen, the receipts are here. They say that she's amazing at what she does. She has 2 people here to vouch for her and say that she knows what the business is. So we need to go ahead and support Project Jumpstart so we can own our own businesses, leave our own legacies. Our children's children are depending on us to leave an inheritance. So I suggest that you guys go ahead and sign up. As I said, I'll be going ahead and I'll sponsor 2 people. I have 1 person in mind, but if there's anybody on here that needs to be sponsored, please let me know and I will definitely take care of it.
Yes, definitely let them know if you need to be sponsored.
Please, please, please.
In fact, hopefully we can.
So what I'm going to be doing every week for you ladies, I'm going to make sure every week, everybody that we have on here, they're going to know about the incubator. We're going to make sure we plug the incubator every single show so that everybody knows.
I was just going to say, wouldn't it be amazing if we got at least 10 people who are watching right now to go and sign up?
Absolutely.
Or to go and
sponsor. Yeah, I think her internet. But yeah, I think that would be if 10 people who are listening right now either go and sign up That because why would you want to leave, money on the table? It's about leaving a legacy, like you said, for your kids, being able to work for yourself instead of working for someone else, and also being able to build your community. We as a people, like you said, we with everything that was going on in 2020, that's one of the ways that we can, be able to do a lot more is if we are owning our own businesses.
Absolutely. It's up to us to help others. Like,
Exactly.
God doesn't give us the gifts and the talents that he gives us to keep for ourselves. He gives those gifts and talents to us to lend a hand. That's why I commend you for sharing your story, for being able to, share and share your testimony so that it may help other women that are out there that are suffering, that are going through the same thing. It's important. Our testimonies are to be shared so that we can help others and for people to know that they're not alone, that they're not by themselves. So I commend you for doing that. Miss Susan came back, y'all. Thank you. Miss Susan, I'm so thankful for you just using your gifts and talents as well to pour out to other people and help other people. So it is an amazing thing.
Sorry, what's going on?
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I think too, there's also, like you said, if you're not able,
I appreciate what you're doing. I
it would
think
be
it's
good if you
amazing.
can sponsor people too, as well.
Yes. Miss Susan, your internet is, we have like a choppiness. So you're real choppy right now.
Yeah, it's going in and out. Can't hear.
Yeah, it's going in and out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna keep you guys on the stream.
Okay.
Can you hide them? Keep them on the stream. For all of you guys that were on here, I definitely want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you guys want to sign up for the incubator, it is along the screen here, projectjumpstart.net. Like I said, if anybody on here that needs sponsorship, please email me, radicalradio2019@gmail.com, or you can inbox me, whatever it is, what the easiest way that you can, just let me know, and I'll go ahead and sponsor you. That is my Christmas gift to you. Hey, this is an awesome thing. I wish more people could do it. So that means we have to get more people to sign up, because once we go through this process, then we can bring others on to go through the process. It would just be amazing to see everybody owning their own business and seeing that they went through this incubator process. So I thank these ladies for joining us. I thank you guys for joining us tonight. You guys can tune in to Radical Radio next Monday. I do have a special announcement to make tonight. There is a new product that is on the Radical Life brand. So I will be unveiling that product Wednesday. So Wednesday, stay tuned. I'll be live. I have this new product that I'm going to unveil. So just stay tuned. I want to thank you guys again for joining us. I love you as always. Be you, be free, and be radical. You guys have a great night.